Hey everyone, it's Christine Gritman here with Social. I do this show every single week where I talk to one of my smart friends about something relating to social media or digital marketing or business. And I'm sorry, hang on one second. Let me just make sure that we are streaming on Facebook and YouTube because Restream closed. So let's make sure that we're logged in. If anyone could toss me a comment, that would be great.
I don't have comments here, but
Oh, Restream, are we on?
I saw a pop-up.
All right, we're on. Okay, great. And I would love it again if I could get some real people kind of confirming that for me. Okay, moving on, and we'll cut that part right out of the podcast. So this week, my smart friend is Linda Rey of Aurora Consulting and also of the newly formed Bridge Street Business Plans. So Linda, welcome, first of all.
Christine, so great to see you. Thank you I'm honored that I'm one of your smart friends.
Yay! Well, you were already one of my smart friends, girl. But here's the funny part. When I first met this particular smart friend, Ms. Linda Rey, you were in insurance. So you have had a journey.
I've had a journey that is going on 3 years right now.
Yeah.
3 years of a journey after 30 years in insurance. I love the insurance business, but it was time for me to make a change. And so I had worked with hundreds of business owners because I was working in the commercial lines department. I had bought my father out of the business, and so then I was able to sell and make a change. So after working with hundreds of business owners, I decided I wanted to focus on businesses and helping businesses grow. And my big enlightenment was that I was going to help other insurance agencies grow because I had gone through every aspect of owning an agency. And so I wanted to get into marketing with insurance agencies.
That's a great niche that you could be a real expert in. I don't feel like there aren't that many people specializing in marketing insurance, and it's a need. Everyone needs marketing.
And everyone needs insurance. So there are a few key people in the market that I absolutely adore and respect, and they're doing a great job. But it wasn't for me, so I made another pivot.
All right, so this brings us to what, 3 years ago when you made the pivot?
The second pivot was a year and a half ago.
Okay, and that was into Aurora Consulting.
That was Aurora Consulting, which was supposed to be marketing for insurance, but then we pivoted with my partner, Trevor, who's my partner in business and in life and in crime.
Hey, Trevor.
We love Trevor. And we decided to start a commercial financing brokerage because, once again, businesses need money if they want to grow.
Yes, they do.
Yes, and banks are our biggest referral source, but sometimes banks don't lend. So we wanted to help the business owners position themselves so that they could get the money to expand.
That makes sense. And is that what brings us to business plans?
It is.
Okay. So let's talk about business plans. So first of all, just to get at the really basic granular level here, what the heck is a business plan and what goes into it?
A business plan is basically everything that you've been dreaming about and the goals that you've set up for yourself and putting them in a written document. It's sort of like a vision board in the written word, because you are very familiar with vision boards and how valuable vision boards are.
You need to know where you're going in order to get there.
You need to know where you are and where you're going. And so it basically is a plan with several elements that outline the lifeblood of your business, depending on how big you want your business to be.
And to that end, unlike a vision board, I imagine there are a lot of numbers.
There are a lot of numbers, but there are more words than numbers in a business plan, believe it or not.
What kind of words? So it's not just like, here's what I want. So what are kind of, are there typical sections to a business plan that are must-haves?
Yes, absolutely. The first section that you'll see that's pretty typical and standard is your executive summary. Now, the thing about the executive summary that is almost ironic is executive summary is that, a summary. So it's 1 to 2 pages.
Oh, that's pretty long.
Of your business, but really it's also based on the other sections of your business plan. So even though the executive summary could be its own mini business plan, you still have to do the other elements of a business plan in order to then summarize into the 1-2 pages for the executive summary.
So that makes sense. So maybe the executive summary, you whip up a draft of it, but the real final version sort of has to come last, it sounds like.
The executive summary does come last, even though it's in the beginning of the business plan. But the only way you're going to summarize it is if you do the other elements in more detail.
Okay. So let's move on to what those other elements are.
Sure. So they could, there's a lot of information out there on business plans. You have your basic business plans for dummies, and then various articles and companies that have sample business plans. So they may have different names of what they're called, but basically you're looking at your company overview. So you have, what your vision is, what your mission is, who your team is.
What is the difference between a mission and a vision?
Well, the mission statement is basically what the purpose of your business is and why you're doing what you're doing. Whereas the vision is what you want to see in the future for not only your business, but how you execute your business, and depending on who your clients are.
So it sounds like mission is here's what we'd like to achieve, and vision is what it will look like.
Yes.
Great.
Yes, I think you've done this before.
The horrible part is not really. I've kind of looked at it before, but I will admit I've been in business 3.5 years, and I haven't really sat down and put one of these together properly, and I'm finally going to now. That's part of why I figured this was a really good show to have on in January. I've kind of devoted this month to coaches and things like that to really help us get our heads straight for the beginning of the year, and this is a fantastic thing to do right now if you haven't already. Figure out what your plan is.
Exactly, and I think for what you just said is important for most people and most business owners. They say, oh, I haven't done one yet. The thing is, you've been working on these elements, maybe haphazardly.
Yes.
Maybe you're scratching it on a piece on a journal page or in your calendar, little pieces here and there, but it's the putting it together so that it's a cohesive document.
It is time for me to scrape the spaghetti off the wall that I threw there and stuck.
Yes.
And figure out what that looks like. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. And also, because we're going to be going through these sections, and I have this page that has like all of this. Ooh. But I have an outline that unfortunately my website is about a week old, so I don't have the download quite yet, but I can send this so that you have it. It's a very nice detailed outline.
That'll be fantastic. And I'll mention it now, but I'll mention it again at the end. To get that business plan, you can email Linda right there at plan@bridgestreetbusinessplans.com. And we'll put that up again at the end, and we'll put it in the comments, and in the replay it'll be in the description. But it's pretty simple. Plan@bridgestreetbusinessplans.com.
I know. Don't even ask about how that came to be. But anyway.
Girl, I don't even have a business plan yet. You're good.
Well, so part of the company overview too is goals and objectives. All business owners have some semblance of goals and objectives.
Beyond make money.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
You need to get more specific than
make money.
Make money.
Yes.
How specific do you need to get?
Oh, well, so when you were talking about the numbers portion of the program, there's a financial review, a financial forecasting section. And that has where you have your cash flow statement, you have your income statement, and you have your balance sheet. And those documents, if you're working with a bookkeeper or a CPA or someone that helps you manage your organizing of finances, then you can just kind of button that up into those nice formats and then plop that into your business plan. If you're very intimate with your own finances, then you're going to know how to organize them so that it's included. And just to go back, in case I wasn't clear on it, the reason the business plan company came to exist today is because our commercial financing brokerage business relies on our clients having a business plan. Period. Full stop. I mean, it doesn't even matter the size of the business. We have a business that's looking for $60,000. We have a business that's worth $6 million, and everything in between. The lenders are looking for the business plan, and the financials are in the business plan.
They don't just want to throw money at you. They need some sort of understanding that you have a plan for what the heck you're doing with the money.
Yeah, not only do they not want to throw money at you, but they're almost looking, and this is nothing against the lenders at all, but banks are our biggest referral source. They are almost leaning towards not loaning the money because it's certainly easier to not loan the money.
Yep.
So you don't want to give them a reason to not approve the loan.
Absolutely. So I have a question for you. So what if someone is going into this sort of blind? Like, what if they're saying, well, I mean, an income forecast, cash flow, this doesn't exist yet. We haven't started the company yet. So what do they do then? How do they get those numbers?
Well, part of the business plan is also doing the research on your specific market. Mm-hmm. And reviewing the market trends and what the market needs are for your specific business or your specific industry. There's also what the competition is doing. You know, there's a reason why you want to politely stalk your competition, because you want to understand what things they're doing that keeps them sustainable, that keeps them top of mind in their industry.
How do you find out this information? How do you get your competition's numbers? They're not just going to give them to you.
That's where you hire a professional who knows how to do business plans, where they have access to different industries and different, financials of industries, so that they can benchmark and compare.
There you go. All right, that makes sense. This is why you get a Linda.
And so you can get the business, so you can grow your own business. I mean, startups, I don't even know what the statistics are on startups. I probably should, but I don't, because it's constantly changing.
And it's depressing.
But businesses start up all the time. It's just a matter of who's going to be the last woman standing, the last man standing, so that your goals and your dreams are being fulfilled, because you're doing the research and then you're doing the work. You got to put the idea into action, and part of that is having a plan.
Absolutely. I love that. Okay, so we've got the part about kind of the flow of income. So the forecast of what's coming in, the cash flow of what's going out, all of that. So what's next?
Well, in no particular order, since we're just kind of talking here among smart friends, I know you're going to really love this next part, marketing.
Ooh, I do love that next part. That's pretty important, and not enough businesses do it. In fact, those businesses should call me. But go ahead.
Yes, they should, which is why you're doing live streaming and podcasts, so people can know what you're doing. Marketing is, and again, this was all derived from our experience with the commercial financing. The lenders love that you're marketing, because they know that's how you're going to grow your business. So you have to have a detailed plan of how you're positioning yourself strategically in the marketplace so that you're going to grow, because they have to know that you're going to grow so that you can pay back the money you borrowed, right? So they want to see your marketing plan.
What do those tend to look like on an average business plan?
Well, I mean, it really depends on the business. There's
How detailed do they tend to get?
Well, it can be too detailed. It can be too vague, and it can be too detailed. It really is then that's why you really shouldn't go it alone, even if you're just working with somebody, whether it's a colleague or an associate or a friend or a husband or wife or somebody, because you're not always able to tell your own story. Mm-hmm. So so even with the marketing section, you could be hiring, and I know it's then it's an expense, but you should be hiring professionals within those own fields. Like you have your CPA, you want your own, you want to have a marketing professional so that they can tell you the trends that are alone in marketing. Forget about the very business that you're doing. You may not know how to market. Not everyone knows how to do marketing.
This is very true, and I feel like that's the first professional that falls off the list when people are trying to trim things. They say, okay, well, I know I need an accountant because duh. And I am struggling with putting together a business plan. I have a draft here because I have this great PDF template that I got from Linda, but like I need someone to help me put this stuff together. But then they don't even think about marketing. They figure if I build it, they will come. So So what do they like to see, and what do lenders like to see in a marketing plan? Do they like to see a certain amount of budget allocated to marketing? Do they like to see specifics as to we're going to advertise in the newspaper and we're going to do TV commercials and we're going to do some social media? Like, what do they like to see?
All of the above. Whatever. The part of the marketing plan is, you can't do everything at once because it costs money, but you have to start somewhere. So you really do want to review what are your strengths and weaknesses in the company, which, by the way, is also an element of the plan. You're going to have strengths, you're going to have weaknesses, you're going to have the opportunities, and you're going to have the threats. That's the SWOT analysis.
I love SWOT.
That's a basic element of a business plan. And the thing is, when you outline just the SWOT alone, you're going to know where you fall to be able to manage what marketing could benefit your business. Mm-hmm. So, whether it's print, you had mentioned very specific, but you have to look at what falls with your business that makes sense for you, for your target audience. And those, some businesses may not even know how to go about my target audience. Well, I know it, but I have to say it, I have to explain it or outline it. So
my target audience is everyone. How often do you hear that? I hear that all the time.
All the time. And so you kind of have to extrapolate and get specific. And it's not always fun, and sometimes it's a little bit painful, but it does enhance everything you're doing to build this business. And it's going to become a breathing, living, working document.
I love that. Okay, so as much as I would love to stay on the marketing part all day, let's talk about the other pieces that remain.
Yes. So there is the company description. So you have where, you have to talk about what your company is doing, what they're offering, and how you're executing that product or service to get it to market. You have management. Who's the management team? Who's the personnel? An overview of everyone who's involved, the executives that are involved, making decisions, what your team looks like, what your technology looks like, so that you can, streamline and be as efficient as possible.
Now, how much of this stuff already needs to be set up versus how much of it can be hypothetical? Like if you are doing a startup, but you're seeking funds, you don't have the money to hire any of these people.
Well, there's going to be a little bit of both because, without the startup, someone who's going into business as a startup, they likely have some intel on that field. Otherwise, they wouldn't be going into it.
Hopefully.
So you're right. So you're going to have some intelligence to put together, but there's always going to be hypothetical because who knows what's going to happen in 3 years, and 5 years, and 10 years. So there's always going to be part realistic, part actual, part hypothetical. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Great. And having some sense of the structure, and I like that you mentioned the technology also, because that's an expense and a part of the infrastructure that also, again, a lot of people may not necessarily have thought about or researched too much when they came up with their idea at the beginning.
Well, yeah, there's some basic technology that every business can attribute to their efficiency and their success. Whether you have a CRM, your client relationship management system, your database, or however you store your clients' information, however you track your clients' progress. There's some technology that's basic, and then there's some technology that enhances what we're doing, and that's every piece of technology can contribute to a story as to why that's going to benefit the business in the short term and the long term, and what that means to the bottom line of. And again, I'm kind of biased because I'm speaking to my experience with business plans is directly related to securing the commercial financing. Mm-hmm. But it really, the three reasons anyone wants a business plan is getting money from your bank, just guiding your own progress in business to the level of success that is desired for you. And then also if you're taking in equity investors and partners, and they want to know, what am I getting into here? So
that makes sense. If you're bringing other people along for the ride, and especially if you're bringing other people's money along for the ride, they've got to know that you're a safe bet. More or less.
Exactly.
Okay, so you've got the infrastructure. So here's what our business provides. Here's how we provide it. Here's what the structure of the business looks like in terms of personnel, technology, all of that stuff.
Yep, and who we are, and telling your story, and why your business is awesome. I think sometimes business owners forget to wave that awesome flag. And, if you're in a position to write a business plan, it's because you have some goals that might require it. So just like you're compelled to have to, do certain things, like you said, get a CPA or buy insurance or whatever. There's, if you have goals and objectives that warrant having to get a business plan, then, you're going to be excited to do it, and your business is exciting, and you're exciting, and you're awesome. You've got to tell that story.
Amen. Rock it out. And plus that'll help inform your marketing.
Well, that is true. Yes. And it's also going to drive you to just kind of go to delve into those components that look so dry. Like, there's a lot of things that people don't want to deal with how detailed this is. This is a pretty detailed outline. This is just the outline. But anyway, so
I'm excited to take a look at that document. That's going to be really helpful. I know. So you just recently joined Andrew and Pete's Atomic community, which I'm a part of, and they have a few series now of day-long kind of mini mastermind things that they did virtually, where there's some that's pre-recorded of them talking, there's some that were done live. But one of the things that really freaked me out at the beginning of one of them was they had a document, and we had to really put it, we didn't have to share this with anybody, but we had to really put in our numbers and put in that flow of business and kind of put in where we put our resources, which ones cost money, which ones bring in money, and really take a good hard look at all those things. And that freaked so many of us out, myself included. Like, I still haven't gone back and done it. I'm going to. I'm going to very, very soon. But that part, people just kind of hum along. But if you're just kind of humming along, you're not going to keep humming along.
No, you're going to, there are certain things that are easy to be complacent about. Mm-hmm. And that is one of them. I'm kind of a little bit of an accountability junkie. Mm-hmm. I need an external resource to help nudge me along when it comes to something I know I need to be doing. And that's, why Andrew and Pete are doing so well because their resources are incredible, but you do have to do the work. So yes. I don't know. You find a buddy who wants to do a business plan, and then you have you give yourself, a month or 2 months or whatever weekly where you're, crunching along with each of these things. And then you just check in with each other. If you know that it's something, you have the information, you have the information. And if you don't have the information, you can Google anything.
Yeah. I think that's really key. I think people who haven't been planners thus far kind of feel like they don't have the information. It's like, I don't know what goes in and out of my business. I don't know what I'm making next month. And it's like, well, that's the problem. And you need to at least be able to have a plan for what you'll be making next month so that you can have a plan to actually accomplish that?
It's just, it's hard for me to, I'm not going to pontificate about it because I'm guilty too, where I let things go by the wayside, or I put something to the side knowing that I'll get to it. Maybe someday, one day.
Well, other people's stuff is always easier to manage.
Yes, exactly. I really do believe that, there are different ways that you can work through this process. I mean, there are tons of coaches out there. There's tons of consultants out there. You can get a good reference from if you have a bookkeeper or a CPA, they're going to know people. You really just want to lock yourself in with some way that is going to move you forward. Whether you're investing and you're paying the money, so it's like, okay, I'm going to do this and then work, and then you're going to break even, or you're going to make more money. The ROI on it is going to be incredible because you're driven to make this business work. So
I love that. So, among the final thoughts here, what is one way to really make your business plan sexy?
Whoa!
To really make it stand out and be something that lenders or investors are going to really say, ooh, okay.
I'm just so funny because I don't think any work that I ever done in my 30 years ever had the word sexy related to it. Insurance? Nope. Commercial financing? Nope. Business plans? Maybe? Now, because Christine Gritman is, here we are. The funny thing is it doesn't really have to be sexy. It just has to be realistic, and it has to be executed.
Yes.
It has to be completed. And the good news is if this is the good news. If you have a business plan and you submit it to your lender without having a professional review it or anything, they're going to come back and you're going to get some feedback on it. The fact that you have one, they're going to be like, okay, so let's massage it a little bit because maybe it's lacking in some way. Or even if it's too detailed, they're going to provide you feedback. You don't really want to do it. I don't know if you really want to take that chance. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. There's really nothing sexy. I hate to say, I wish I could say something that's sexy.
Well, really, the thing that makes it sexy is thoroughness and realism, is what it sounds like.
And doing it. You know what's sexy?
Knowing
I have a business plan. Doing it. Yeah, doing it.
Doing it is sexy. You heard it here first, folks. All right, everyone, make sure that you email Linda at plan@bridgestreetbusinessplans.com to get that PDF that sort of outlines what you're going to need to do to put together your business plan. I'm going to start there. I'm going to take a look at that and just try to wrap my head around it. I got to pull it together in February because I want to make sure I really planned before I get to social media marketing world, right?
Oh, social media marketing
world. Got to be on it by then.
I am personally on the hunt to find Michael Stelzner and meet Michael Stelzner.
It will not be difficult. I'm telling you, the whole thing about social media marketing world is the accessibility. You will get to meet every single speaker. I'll show you all my selfies, my star wall of selfies. And now you're going to be in it too.
I'm going to be there for the first time, so I'm going to be meeting Andrew and Pete and Michael Stelzner.
You will.
Very excited. Hashtag SMMW20.
And I just bought a piece of ridiculous swag that I'm going to be giving out that I'm trying not to tell anybody about, but you'll see it when we're there.
Oh, swag.
You'll see.
Swag is sexy. Now swag
is sexy.
Yeah.
My swag is red, unsurprisingly. All right. Well, anyway, thank you so much, Linda. Linda Rey of Bridge Street Business Plans and Aurora Consulting. Again, I'm Christine Gritman. I do this show, Social, every single week where I interview one of my smart friends about something relating to social media or small business. Next month is actually LinkedIn month. So next Friday, I'm going to be coming at you with Mary Fain Brandt of Mary Fain Brandt Coaching and Consulting, talking about LinkedIn Live. So I'll see you then. Bye.